I just knew I was gonna catch me a charge that day. Like I was ready to bust my own windows out my car. That's how mad I was. But you know what? I let it go. I don't know where she got the money from, but then a lump sum of money dropped in my cash app account. A lump sum. So I'm like, damn, she paid up. Like, all right, cool. Now I'm glad I gave her a chance, so we can work these things out. And then the next month, nothing. So I guess at some point the car stopped working, and she told me that, and I'm just like, all right, well, you gonna get it fixed because you and this nigga was ripping and running up and down, God knows where in Philly. And she was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna try to save her money. I'm like, cool. In the meantime, she got it towed to a dealership. And I don't know if y'all know how dealerships work. Once you take it to a dealership and they put it on a diagnostic machine, you have to pay them for that or get the work done there. All right, cool. She hit me back. Oh, it's about $700 plus. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm thinking she gonna pay it still. Nothing. She's nothing. So I heard through the grapevine that she had got another car. A brand new Jeep. Excuse me. Okay, so you left my car to rot on somebody's lot while you had a brand new car and you didn't even have the decency to tell me? So at this point, I'm furious. So I'm calling her phone. Oh, I'm blocked. Cool. I'm blocked. At some point, I hit her up and I was just like, just watch yourself. Like, just, you need to watch yourself. And of course, that could be a threat, but I ain't say I'm gonna beat you up or nothing like that. I just said she need to watch herself. She hits me back saying, "Oh, at this point in time, I need to take my safety and my kids' safety in my own hands because you threatening me, and I know you got a gun, so I need to do what's best for us." And I'm like, where did that even come from? First of all, I work with kids every day of my life. Why would I ever put a child's welfare in danger? Like, come on. So that hurt me. I stopped like just hitting her up. I stopped calling her. Nothing. I stopped harassing her. At this point, I'm like, I'm giving it to God because she's threatening my. I'm sorry. The people outside is just too loud. Like, whoo. Um, character. Character, my well-being, all of this stuff. Because the minute you try to go and get a restraining order against me because you said I had a gun and you're trying to protect your kids, you put my whole livelihood in jeopardy. So I was told not to hit her up no more. Um, but in the meantime, that car sat on the lot. Like, I ain't do nothing with it. And despite me busting my ass off to make money, the car wasn't a priority. Like I said, I was driving my brand new car. I wasn't concerned, but I did put myself in a bad financial situation. And I didn't know how it worked, but it had been on a lot for months. And then when I finally thought about getting the car, because they said it was like 170 something to get off the lot. When I finally thought about it, the car was already at a salvage yard, and I didn't know how that worked, but evidently I was supposed to be paying storage fees and all this cool stuff, or they wanted me to hand the title over to them. However, I could not hand the title over to them because I didn't finish paying the car off yet. I still had $5,500 left on that car. $5,500 left on basically a lemon in my eyes. I was so stressed. I was so depressed. I gave up. I was hopeless. I didn't know what to do. But I'll tell you one thing. I got on my knees and prayed so hard. I prayed for that whole situation. It was a nightmare. Because like I said, I'm still paying $900 for two cars. One of them that I'm not even driving or anybody's driving. So, excuse me. I never prayed so hard in my life, honestly. January, February 2019 were very, very rough months for me. I I honestly didn't know how I was going to get out of this situation. So I called PNC just to see like how I go about it, because PNC is who had my loan. So I called them to see how it worked. But then beforehand, I'm calling the salvage yard, and I'm calling, I guess, PennDOT in Harrisburg, and I'm just asking them how I go about it. So the first person I called was the salvage yard. I didn't have no information. I had to Google like how to get in contact with them. So when I got in contact, they said, "Oh, you owe storage fees, and then if you hand over the title, if you don't pay for this car by a certain date, it was February something. If you don't pay for the car by this date, then your license will be suspended, and then you'll have to go to court and all of this stuff." So I'm like, what? So I'm talking to like my old heads about it, and everybody's just saying like contact PennDOT and see what's up. I didn't have a direct number for PennDOT either. So I, Googled that and called multiple departments until somebody could tell me what to do. So when I told the lady, "Oh, this yard is trying to tell me that I have to pay for this car or hand them over the title, or they're going to suspend my license," she said, "What? That's crazy. I've been doing this for years and I've never heard of that. It's not true." So I'm irritated with the salvage yard, because why would y'all lie to me like that? Nevertheless, I stopped responding to them. I stopped contacting them, and I let the car sit for a few more days until I figured out what I was going to do. But thank God, I had deferred comp. I started deferred comp around August 2017, but it didn't really kick in until November 2017. And I started by putting $50 in, so it would take $50 out of my check every 2 weeks when I got paid. But then as the money started coming in, I boosted up to $125. So the way deferred comp works is that you could take out a loan that's 50% of what you had at the time. I had about close to maybe $3,000 in my deferred comp. So I took a loan out. But I didn't even tell y'all like why I took this loan out. I was asking PNC like, how could I get out of my loan with them, because I didn't have the car, it wasn't working, blah 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 blah. So I was asking for a voluntary repo so they could repo the car, but they were saying the car wasn't worth enough to even be repoed. So I'm like, well, what's my other option? And they were just like, you'll have to charge off your account. I don't know nothing about charge off, so I had to research and ask about that. So instead of me having to pay $5,500, they said you'll only owe us $2,400 on the car. Bet. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get $2,400, God, by the next 3 weeks, because that's when I was supposed to be buying the car or paying for me to get my own car back. But that's when the deferred comp came into play. So I had already been paying on the car. I think it was around $350 a month. So by the time I had reached the settlement with them and was able to get my mind together to do deferred comp, I only had $1,900 left to pay on the car. So stay with me. I know it's a long story, but I had $1,500 from my deferred comp loan, and then I had $400 from me just getting paid. Boom. Went to PNC, paid the car off, right? So now the car is mine. So it don't matter what happens to this car at this point, because it's mine, but it's also still at the salvage yard. So what I did, because the salvage yard pissed me off, I didn't even tell them what I was going to do, because I know it would be more money for them to get their car fixed and try to sell it than for me to try to pay for me to get my own car back. So I got the title, and I just left them with the car. So I say all of this to say, we need to just be more financially responsible. I really messed that situation up, but with that situation plus prayer, I had a greater miracle. Like, I paid off the car. I didn't know what deferred comp was for, but I was told to do it, so I did it. I'm just so thankful that something in my head said do this deferred comp thing, because otherwise I would have been I would have been really messed up. And to that so-called friend, I wish you the best luck in life. I pray for you. Cause you didn't even have to do me like that. Like, it's cool and whatever. Like, no bad blood. Cause I know you'll probably see this one day, but I pray for you. So, until then, keep sipping.